What?
What's up, y'all? Once again, I asked on Instagram for people to ask me some deep questions, and these are some of the questions I got. Alright, so somebody asked, what's your interpretation of karma? The way I perceive karma is what you put out into the world is essentially what you'll get back. And I've had this perception of karma through my own life experience. I mean, when I was a piece of shit human who wished only to put out negative into the world, and I thought it was amusing to disturb people and basically just be a piece of shit, and I loved the reputation of being a piece of shit, and I would take the easy route, as in theft and violence and shit like that, because it's easier to be a bad person than it is to be a good person. So I took the easy route of being a bad person, and what I got back was negative. My life sucked. In that time of my life, I almost died. I don't know how many times. I was almost killed how many times. I was almost sent to jail. I don't know how many times. I mean, what I put out into the world is what I got back. And then when I finally grew up and matured and realized that that is not really the route to take, because I'm only going to end up in prison or in a coffin, my life started to turn around and things got better for me. So, and I believe that was karma. I was putting bad out into the world and I was receiving bad back. And when I started putting good out into the world and doing things not for gain, but to just be a decent person, because the world has enough shitty people out there already. So the least you can do is contribute some good, some positive out in the world, because it needs it, especially in this day and age. Like, the world needs some just genuinely good stand-up people. So that's what I aspire to be now. I used to aspire to be the opposite, but not anymore. And my life reflects that decision. That path I took, the things I've gotten back in life are reflective of that decision I made. So that's my perception of karma. Is essentially what you put out into the world is what you will get back. So, yeah. People that have a good life in terms of what you can see, often and they're still a piece of shit, they act like a piece of shit. You may be able to say, oh, well, I know people with great lives, but they're really negative. How does this make sense? Well, that's what they have, a great life in terms of what you can see. That's your perception of a great life. If they live in a big mansion and drive a nice car, well, you don't actually know their life beyond that. You don't know what's going on up top. Do you know how many people out there have had everything they could have wished for at one point, but end up killing themselves because they're incredibly depressed? Just because you have a big house or a nice car doesn't mean you have genuine love or genuine people around you. It doesn't mean you feel good about yourself. You could be battling who knows how many mental issues. There's a lot past that. So you got to really see through people's facade, because a lot of people out here, they only wish to convince you that they have a good life because they want you to wish that you lived their life. That's their whole goal, because they're actually not satisfied with their own lives. Because people that do that don't feel any need to convince you that they are actually happy and that their life is so great. Genuinely happy people don't need to do that. They just live life and enjoy it. They don't want you to feel like shit. Like, what? All right, and the next question is, what makes us humans? What makes us different from animals? Or are we all the same? We are animals at the end of the day. That's what we are. We're animals. And if we're not animals, then what are we? Society and corporations and stuff like that expect us to not be human. Like a business, for example, say you're a host at a restaurant. Well, corporate expects you to stand up front like a good little robot, not move, not get on your phone, not find something to do, not do anything. Just stand there, post up 8 hours a day, stare straight and wait for people to come in the door, greet them, do your job, and get right back to just standing and doing nothing. Not stimulating yourself in any sort of way. Just plant yourself and be a robot. It's not realistic. And the media, in terms of the media, well, look at cancel culture, right? The beauty of being a human and being just an animal is making mistakes. Okay, that's part of being a human. That's the difference between us and a robot. Is we make mistakes and we can learn, we can work on ourselves and fix it and move forward. But that's the beauty of being human, is having flaws, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, and trying to not repeat them. And we live in this new culture, this society now where a mistake someone made maybe 9 years ago, they can be canceled for, deplatformed, demonetized, etc. years later. We don't let people be human anymore. It's expected for everyone to be a robot. You need to be perfect. You had to have been perfect your entire life. They don't let you have any room for mistakes. And it's a real pick and choose society. They pick and choose what they want to be disturbed by. They pick and choose all sorts of things, who they cancel, who they don't cancel for all the same things. And it's incredible to see, really, because it's just insane. Like, we cancel people for using a racial slur, but we'll praise people for making songs showing off that they've murdered people in their community and advocating for it and really influencing young people to do it as well, to follow in their footsteps, making it seem cool. Look, I got rich off this shit, you can too. Doing drugs, etc. They convince the youth to follow in their footsteps, and then the youth just ends up dead or in prison. But we don't cancel these people. Oh no, that's fine. They can they can have, they can monetize their videos, they can do this, that, and the third. We give them a platform. But let someone say a racial slur. Let someone say something homophobic. Oh, no. They're wiped off the face of the earth. It's insane. But I think what separates us from animals is our capacity for knowledge, and I want to explain, because that may not make total sense. I'm kind of just freeballing this, but saying that our morals, like saying that, we have morals and animals don't, that's not enough. And there are animals that do have a concept of morals, because there's been examples of animals doing things to help other animals with nothing to gain from it. That's morals. So some animals do have a concept of morals. So morals, just having morals, isn't the line that split us between other animals, and knowledge either. It's our capacity of these things. We have a much deeper capacity for morals. You just having morals and being able to understand ourselves and others, and self-awareness, and it's not that some animals are self-aware. Some animals have a conscience, but ours is different. Our capacity is much deeper. Okay. And that's what I see. We are just more advanced than typical animals, but we are animals ourselves, and we need to remember that. You know what I mean? People expect everyone to be these robots, these perfect little machines that don't do anything wrong. They never made a mistake. They can't grow from their mistakes that they have made, etc., etc. We need to understand we're all just animals at the end of the day. You know what I mean? There's going to be evil people that are animalistic, and they act on their selfish desires and commit crimes and do all this because we're animals. We're animals. That's what animals do. You know what I mean? Some people have a high enough morality and intelligence to not go out and do evil, stupid shit. But some people don't, because we all vary. Because at the end of the day, we're not machines. We're animals. So yeah, I guess that's my answer to that one. And I can always spin back to these questions, in the future, and answer them even further with time to write. Because like I said, I'm just freeballing all this shit. Okay, someone asked, a reason to keep living. That's interesting. A reason to keep living. Well, I think that varies for who you ask, right? Like my reason, I guess, to keep living. My reason that people should feel they should keep living would be, you never know what's next for you, and sometimes it's not always positive, right? But it's not always negative. You don't know. You don't know the future. And a good reason to keep living is knowing that there is good out there, and that your life can change drastically so fast it'll make your head spin. It can change completely at the drop of a dime. You don't know what's waiting for you. You don't know your future. You don't know everybody else's future. That's the reason to keep living, is you don't know what's next. You never know what's next. And a good reason to keep living is what can you make of yourself with the situation you have, with the cards you are dealt. What can you make of this? Everyone is dealt different decks of cards in life. Some people are born with a deck full of aces. Doesn't mean they'll win. You know what I mean? Some people are born with a terrible deck, yet they'll still beat the dude who's been dealt a deck full of aces. And that's the beauty of life to me, is the underdog story. You know what I mean? It's almost like an underdog story, making that come true. Everyone, no matter what position they are in life, what position they may have been born in, etc., will be the underdog in some way at some point in life. Maybe it won't be financially. Maybe someone, but just because you're not an underdog financially doesn't mean you're not an underdog somewhere else. You know what I mean? Someone can be a multi-trillionaire, but they'll walk into an MMA gym and now they're the underdog. No one knows them. No one cares. You have no skill. You're nothing in that point. Some people are the underdog in just their position in life, financially, etc. But what can you make of that situation? Are you going to crumble and fold and sit in a little ball and cry in the corner? Or are you actually going to try to make something of yourself and turn your situation around? Some of it is luck. Most of it is hard work. It's all depends on your individual position. And another reason to keep living is to remember that someone out there, probably many people, have made more than you have with less. So what is your excuse? That's what I've always thought when I've been in very low places in life, is someone out there has been in a worse position than I am right now. And they've made the most of it. They've gotten out and made something of it. So what is my excuse? That's how I think of it. So I have no excuse. I have no excuse as to why I can't do that. It's from within. It spawns from laziness. It spawns from just no self-belief, etc. These are things you have to attack at the root to actually change your life and keep moving forward. That's the reason you keep living. To evolve, to change, to grow, to embrace the situation you're in and make the most of it, so you have a story to tell to somebody one day. You know what I mean? That's a reason to keep living. You don't know what's ahead for you, so stick around and find out. You know what I mean? Stick around and see what's around the next corner. See what's through that next door. You don't know yet. That's all life is. It's a hallway full of doors, and they're all closed. You don't know what's behind the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. One is a pit, one is a room full of fire, one is a room full of flowers and rainbows, one is a room full of nice sweet candy, one is a room full of hungry pit bulls trying to claw your goddamn face off. Like, you don't know what's through each door. You just gotta, I don't know if I explained that right. That's life. You know what I mean? It's a mystery. And it's all about experience. Try to experience more, That's how I see it, I guess. Let's see the next question. There we go. What do you live for? Okay. What do I live for? I live for experience. And I also live to see what I can make of myself in my lifetime. I want to see, where can I take this? How high can I go? What can I truly make of myself within my lifetime? Will I reach the potential I feel like I could reach? How bad do I want it? Testing myself, constantly challenging myself and testing myself. That's what I live for. Is the experience of life in general. I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to explore and experience different cultures, different people, different mindsets, different ideas, and just experience. You know what I mean? Just delve into life. Life is what I live for. You know what I mean? And also my pursuit for achievement, my pursuit to create. I love to create. I'll create anything. I've been working so hard with art recently, writing stories, creating worlds in my head, creating videos, music, etc. This is what I live for, to create. I never stop creating in my mind when I'm sitting at work doing nothing. I'm in my own head just creating a whole world and a story behind it that I probably won't even remember by the time I leave work. But on my way home, I'll already be thinking of a new one. You know what I mean? On my way back home, I just live to think. I love to think. I love to see what other people think. I like to challenge my own thoughts and see, oh, why do I think this? I like it when I meet someone who makes me think about my own thoughts. I like to think about my own thoughts. You know what I mean? I like to sit back and think, well, I think this, but why do I think this? What led me to think this way? That's why I live. You know, that's what I live for the experience of life and the pursuit to achieve, the pursuit to be great. I don't think that's a toxic masculine thing. I don't think that's, anything negative, to see how great you can become in your lifetime. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's something that all people should aspire to be, is their greatest self within their lifetime. That's what I live for. Yeah, those are the things I live for. See if I got any new ones. Does your heartbeat ever scare you to the point you think, damn, I'm really alive? Yes, actually. Oftentimes, I'm laying in bed late night trying to sleep, and I just get shocked, oh my God, I'm alive right now. I'm alive and slowly dying. Time is ticking. My temporary time on this earth is slowly fading away. And here I am, just existing, living, slowly rotting away. Limited time. What am I going to do tomorrow? What have I done today? Holy shit, this is real. This is my skin. Blood is in here. Bones are behind this. What? You know what I mean? It really is trippy to sometimes realize how mortal you are, and see the world around you. Oh, it's so big, and then you look even further. You look even deeper in this realm, and you see that you're just a speck on a rock floating in a void. It's just, and then within this void is another more even bigger, deeper, infinite void. And then the timeline of it all, you are simply in this little blip of a grand scheme. This massive timeline. You exist only in this little blip, and you're afraid to go speak to a girl you have a crush on. You're afraid to pursue something you want to pursue, to put yourself out there. You know what I mean? You're going to sit and waste your temporary time in this already tiny little blip of time on this floating rock as this little speck. You're actually going to sit around and be afraid to put yourself out there and do shit and try new shit, and want to explore. That you want to sit in your bed all day and scroll through TikTok with this temporary time you have on this world. Around all these people you have yet to meet, and all these places you have yet to visit, travel to, go, experience. You want to sit in your bed and scroll through TikTok for hours. This is what you're choosing to do? People really do baffle me, man. It's incredible. It really is. I have no words for it, man. It's crazy. It is freaking crazy.